Hi, I'm Jan James, and I'm a member here at Redeemer Bible Church, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about the ministry that I founded in 2015, Provision Project. Provision Project provides for financial relief for women in active treatment for breast cancer. And I'd love to tell you a little bit about what that means. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I started what ended up being a very, very big breast cancer support group on Facebook. And out of that experience, I got an education about what happens to women when they are faced with breast cancer and things are not that great at home. Marriages that were broken before break fully sometimes when cancer comes calling. And what happens is the woman, the mom, may be left at home with children, but not enough income to make everything happen. The germ of Provision Project came when a woman in our breast cancer support group said on a Thursday afternoon, I'll never forget it, would you guys pray for me? I have to have chemo tomorrow and my copay is $60, but I just found out that my electricity is going to be turned off also. And that just wasn't right. A bunch of women jumped to her aid in the group, but that was the start of the conversation that became Provision Project. We're a 501c3. We started in 2015. In 2018, just the most recent stats, we helped 153 families financially. So we're standing in the gap for these women. We can't do it all, but we can help one family at a time. And so we're very grateful for all of the donors that come alongside us. Even though the healthcare industry charged us, over $250,000 for the year that I had breast cancer treatment, we only paid about $7,800 out of pocket, which is a fortune to some people, but we were blessed that it didn't put us under. There's a lot of women that are not in that situation. So we just knew that there was a huge gap between the ability to pay for treatment and the ability to pay for necessities in a household. And a mom or a woman is always going to defer to her family. She'll always want to take care of her family before she takes care of herself. And we have to find a way for both things to happen. I have one specific story. Linda was a social worker and got diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer back in 2016. And she was a married gal, but she was the breadwinner in her family. And, obviously had a heart for people as a social worker. She and her husband had trouble getting pregnant, but they finally had a son, and at that point he was 8 years old. Linda was right between jobs, so she was in that place where there was no insurance. Linda didn't have the money to pay for her Neulasta Shot. That's a shot that we get to help our white blood count and keep the infection away. Linda ended up going septic and she died. She died after 3 chemo treatments because she didn't have the money to get the shot. We can't let that happen. And there's just a new statistic that's out that is just stunning to me. I knew of Linda's story, but the Gallup organization just did a study. 13% of Americans know someone who has died in the last 5 years because they couldn't afford treatment. How can that happen here? 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to say this, but it's become really apparent to me that God has a calling on my life as a breast cancer advocate. And Provision Project provides for women financially, but I also have a heart for the women going through that experience where my life is really focused on helping them financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and God's driving it all. He's built this ministry for me, and again, I'm just so grateful that He took the evil of breast cancer and is using it for good for His kingdom. I would guess that every single one of you knows someone that has had breast cancer, maybe you yourself, someone in your family, someone that you care for. The statistic is horrid. 12% of the women in the United States will have breast cancer in their lifetime. And so it's a really prevalent problem. And the fact that Redeemer would come alongside our little nonprofit to help the women we serve financially is just, it's such a blessing. So we thank you for your generosity to our efforts, and we pledge to you that we will steward the money as best we can. We're very proud of the fact that over 90% of the donations we receive go directly to the women we serve. So we keep our overhead as low as possible, and we're incredibly grateful for every dollar that comes in. So thank you, and have a blessed Christmas.